So here are some shots of this Pratt and Whitney three gang drill press. When I first drug it in, started working on it. Used to be a line shaft, you can see the brackets, and they had hooked up these electric motor plates on the back to modify it so it would run on electrical current. Now this thing is really heavy. I can kind of shift it around, but these guys built them out of cast iron. So there you can see where the line shaft used to be, and it connected to 3 spindles via a belt. And you can see some of the electrical stuff. The 3 motors, all identical Dayton motors, work perfectly. I just had to change the mounts. This is really cool. It's a 3-phase switch with fuses. And it went over to 3 electrical switches. What they did was they used a 3-phase breaker box that you see right here to route 3 15-amp circuits to each motor. Kind of overkill, but it worked. But I didn't like it. It's just old and clunky. So I made modifications. Here's the spindles when I was getting ready to paint them. I didn't make a lot of videos when I was doing this, so I just took before and after pictures, so to speak. But there was a lot of scraping and needle gunning and wire wheeling and masking and painting, and yeah, it was quite a bit of work. Not a full restoration. Now on the left you see something missing if you look at that collar on the spindle. That's a depth stop, it was missing. There was also some broken wing nuts. These are cast iron wing nuts. And so I had to fix the wing nuts, and I had to fabricate a collar for the depth stop on that one spindle. So here, piece of cast iron, ductile iron I had cut to the right width, thickness. And then I take one of these guys and basically do an outline of one of the wings on the wing nut. Take it to bandsaw, cut it out. So that you can see from here there was 2 broken ones. So now I look at it and say, yeah, it's pretty close. Close enough to do some more dressing with a grinder. So I ground off the wing nuts, get ready. I actually put them in a mill and made a flat spot later. And I took, here's one I've already ground on the right. And I kept fitting it until I liked the shape and everything. And when I was really happy with the geometry and the shape of that, and know that I could make it work, I clamped the other one right on it so I could make 2 of them ground fairly close to the same profile. And there's an after shot. So there they are. And then I've chamfered them out, and so that when I can braze them together, a fixture on my vise, a couple of C-clamps, get everybody all lined up, and then come after with a brazing torch and hook them together. And then here, you can see one after I've finished it off, polished it. So here's where I'm making that ring. It's the depth stop ring. It's on a rotary table on the little mill right now. And I've already bored this center out. Now I'm just cutting out the shape that I need to make this collar. On the bottom there's a piece of sacrificial aluminum to keep it off of my parallels. Now I'm all the way through. It's just about a ½ inch, not quite thick. So there it is. It's all cut out in a rough form, rough casting, no, a rough machining. So I'd drill a hole through, And I drilled halfway with a clearance drill so I could put threads in the other end, which I did. Then I marked where the size had to be to cut off the excess on that tab. Oh, there it is. Voila. And I didn't get anything on that, but I just took it to the bandsaw and cut that slot. Cut 2 parallel slots. Now here's the original 2. Beat up, chunked on, and the holes were all walled out and stripped, so looking at different options, I opted to just braze them up completely where the threads go, then drill them out and tap them all to the same, essentially 8mm by 1.5, I think it was, threads. And this is me going in, setting a hole through there. And there it is. This is the one I made, I believe it is, on the left. The one on the left, the one I made. And now you can see I put a box up here.
This is the Pratt and Whitney gang drill that I have been refurbishing. I can't really qualify it as a total restoration because I haven't done everything required in a total restoration. If the viewer doesn't know what that means, it's long and complicated. In any event, I'm down to the end, and if you look right here, there's a boot. And go down and see the drill head travels. These two, the boot's missing. And my lovely wife was kind enough to make some for me. So I'm going to be putting those on. What it will involve is taking this spindle out. But it's not hard. It's actually rather easy. Stay tuned. You can probably hear that mockingbird singing. That little sucker has been mad dogging me for days. I don't think you can see me or he'd be bugging me. Alright, now I can take this bushing out. You can see I've got them, it's got no bearings. It hasn't lost its bearings, it hasn't got any bearings, which is kind of cool.
Okay. There it is. There's a spindle. So, I don't need this hole, but there's two holes, one on this side and one on this side, that held the original boot. And so I got this guy. What I do is I get it up around there and I tighten these edges before I figure out that they're centered, right? And I know there's a hole right here. In fact, you can feel it. Take my little white marker. Put a spot there. And around the other side. Spot there. So then I got a dot. I'm going to do that on the other one, and then I'll get back while I'm putting I'm going to put some rivets in there. So, see, there's a hole I punched. There's another mark right here. There's a mark. I need to get that punch mark lined up. So, punch the holes first with this thing. It'll poke a little divot out. And in case anybody ever wonders, so let me see if I can get this. If you get that guy in there, you can see the dent. See over here? If you look, there's the dent of that little point sticking out. Get it where it's right on the paint dot. Close enough. Right about there, and then you grab a hold of it. Now there's a hole there. Nice. Okay, now the trick is, see this rivet here? This is the outside. I want to put one in that hole right there. See it? So you start with a half a rivet. Now you can tell it's not very big. Or grommet. Is a grommet a better term for that? Yeah? Of course it is. So you stick it through so it sticks out. Then a little plastic thing. And then a little brass or copper washer goes like that. So then this whole arrangement goes on here. See? Sitting on a little die. These things are designed to be used the opposite way, but I found that they were the dang the opposite way. So I got another little, this is a little die that holds them. So I get that on there. Now these little grommets are a fickle thing, let me tell you. And mostly because I haven't been doing them a long time, all the time, but get it centered up real good. And I'm feeling it collapse. You can't see it on camera, but I'm feeling it. Everybody ever works on something knows they can tell you when it gets to what my master called a peen. Because when you hear the peen, you know it's there. And it's like that spot where the hammer stops. It ain't going any farther. So there's one. Nice. So I'll do the other one and get it back when I'm putting them back on that drill. So here's the deal. Stand this spindle up. Slide it down on here, right? Gonna take it out there. I've got a one bolt and a nut in there right now, so I need to actually move it to the top. I had it down there while I was taking it on and off all the time. These suckers got big ass springs inside there when you put it together the last time. They are hard to get started. See if I can get it in there. So, give myself a little slack. That guy up. I'm happy when the measurements come out good enough to where you have to stretch that boot over a little bit so it makes it nice and snug up here. Plus with the sealing action. Boot. Very nice. Uh-oh. Just saw that mockingbird scoping me out. Start dogging me. There you are. Whoops. Right about there. Come on. Oh, some little kid's mad. Pobrecito. Got to play weird to keep out of the camera shot. Oh, his dad's screaming now. So what are you crying about? Are you okay? Oh, he must have bonked himself. Okay, so this is down all the way, and it's just over the lip, and it'll go up all the way in there. And that's it. That's crazy. I got a couple more parts to put on, but after that, adios muchacho. Whoops. This sucker's got like 3 motors that some old creative machinist retrofitted when he got a hold of this machine and just trying to make it run on just regular power. So like that, it'll fly that fast. Different speeds. Leave it there. Or this one. See, that's almost 1-to-1. So 1725.
Ready?
Yeah. Gotta go. So this is it. It's working. Need to be lubed all up again. That's it.